The sound of heels echoed through the marble corridor of the Halcyon Hotel. Vanessa Leigh, star anchor of CityView News, moved with practiced elegance, her black trench coat swaying behind her like a cape. She wasn't here for a late-night interview or a press junket. She was here on a hunch. Her breath misted slightly in the cool hallway air, her heart thudding harder with each step towards Suite 903. She had seen the messages, blurry screenshots accidentally mirrored to her shared iCloud by her fiancé, Alex Grant. Not many people would catch on, but Vanessa was a journalist, trained to see patterns in chaos. A text at midnight. A reservation for two at a boutique hotel's rooftop bar. A familiar perfume on his shirt collar when he came home late from the studio. She reached the door. No hesitation. She slid the master key card, borrowed from a sympathetic front desk manager with a crush, and stepped inside. Soft laughter. The unmistakable pop of a champagne cork. Vanessa didn't need to see more, but she stepped forward anyway, into the suite's golden-lit bedroom, her eyes adjusting quickly. There he was, Alex, shirt half unbuttoned, leaning into someone, not just someone, her co-anchor, Madison Hart. Vanessa felt her stomach drop, but her face remained unreadable, as if she were live on air reporting a tragedy. Madison turned first, eyes widening in horror. Vanessa? Don't stop now, Vanessa said coolly. I'd hate to interrupt your breaking news. Alex stammered, stepping forward. It's not what it looks like. Vanessa raised her hand, silencing him. Please don't insult me. Not tonight. She pulled out her phone, calmly snapping a picture of the two of them frozen in guilt. I won't need this, she said, sliding the phone back into her coat pocket. But you might wonder one day if I'd use it. That's your punishment. Madison stood, hastily grabbing her blouse. Vanessa, I swear. You can have him, Vanessa said. But let me warn you, he's very good at acting. You'll never know when you're being lied to. She walked out, heels clicking in time with the rush of blood in her ears. By morning, she deleted every photo of Alex from her phone, wiped her ring finger clean, and walked into the newsroom with a flawless smile. The city would never know her heart had shattered just 12 hours earlier, because heartbreak wasn't news. But survival? That was her headline. The newsroom buzzed with early morning chaos. Papers rustling, coffee brewing, and the teleprompter glitching for the third time that week. Vanessa stood by the makeup mirror, unbothered as her stylist powdered her already pristine complexion. Madison walked in, sunglasses on, hair still damp from a rushed shower, and guilt clinging to her like stale perfume. She avoided Vanessa's eyes, speaking in hushed tones to producers. Vanessa let her gaze meet Madison's through the reflection. Calm, calculated, cruel, even. Good, she thought. Let her squirm. Places, please, came the stage manager's call. As they slid into their anchor chairs, perfect smiles plastered on like masks, Vanessa leaned in, her voice a breathy whisper that only Madison could hear. Be careful, Mads. Some cameras don't need red lights to record. Madison's face paled, but before she could respond, the red light did come on. Good morning, this is CityView News at 7. I'm Vanessa Leigh. And I'm Madison Hart, came the flat reply. The show went on. Headlines, weather, a brief on rising city crime. But beneath the gloss and banter, the tension sizzled like live wire. After the broadcast, Vanessa headed to her office. Waiting at her desk was a manila envelope, sealed, no return address. Her brows drew together. Inside, printed screenshots, dozens of them, private conversations. Madison's text to the station's political correspondent, flirting, mocking producers, even scheming to take over Vanessa's coveted evening anchor slot. It wasn't just betrayal of the heart anymore. It was a full-blown conspiracy. Vanessa's phone buzzed. A message from Elliot Shaw, the quiet but sharp investigative journalist 2 floors down. Told you she wasn't just after Alex. Want to compare notes? She smiled faintly. Later that week, as Madison prepared for the evening broadcast, she was handed a revised rundown. At the top of the list, an exclusive expose on ethical misconduct in media. featuring unreleased footage from an anonymous newsroom insider. She barely had time to blink before Vanessa strolled in, mic in hand. "Oh," Vanessa said innocently. "Didn't anyone tell you? It's my segment tonight." "What the hell are you doing?" Madison hissed. Vanessa leaned in, smile razor sharp, delivering the truth. Finally. And with that, the cameras rolled. Vanessa's piece aired damning footage, voice recordings, blurred screenshots, and anonymous whistleblower commentary, exposing unethical alliances, tampered interviews, and off-the-record bribes linked directly to Madison Hart. Names were redacted, but it was enough for everyone in the building to know who the real story was about. Madison sat frozen in her dressing room, phone lighting up with texts from legal, HR, her publicist, and worst of all, her mother. Across the hall, Vanessa sipped her coffee like it was champagne. But Madison Hart wasn't the type to go down without a scream. 2 days later, an anonymous blog post titled "Behind the Smile, Vanessa Leigh Unmasked" exploded online. In it, claims of manipulated stories, corporate favoritism, and one very specific accusation, that Vanessa had blackmailed her way into her anchor seat years ago after catching an executive in a compromising position. The post went viral, and even though Vanessa knew exactly who was behind it, proving it would be tricky, Madison had done her homework. Worse, the article unearthed something Vanessa had tried to keep buried. Her younger brother's insider trading scandal, long swept under a PR rug. The Post dredged it back up, framing Vanessa as the puppet master. She read the final line of the article slowly. She may sit behind a desk, but make no mistake, Vanessa Leigh is a woman with blood on her hands. For the first time in years, Vanessa's hand trembled. That night, in a dimly lit corner booth at the Carlton Club, Vanessa met Elliot Shaw. "She's trying to drag my name through the dirt," Vanessa said, sliding her phone across the table. This piece was fed to someone. Madison's fingerprints are all over it. Elliot skimmed the article, then leaned back. She's desperate, cornered. She's going for the throat. Vanessa's jaw tightened. "Then we take the head." Elliot raised an eyebrow. "You sure? This isn't just ratings anymore. It's war." "I've already buried one betrayal," she whispered. "I won't let this one breathe." The setup, Elliot worked quietly. A planted tip, a stage phone call, a secret meeting Madison never knew was recorded. Within days, a new scandal emerged, not about Vanessa, but Madison herself. Turns out, Madison had been feeding stories to a rival network in exchange for the promise of a solo anchor deal, while still under contract. Breach of ethics. Breach of everything. Vanessa didn't break the story. She didn't have to. She simply leaked the proof, anonymously. The fallout was swift. Madison was suspended. Sponsors pulled back. The rival network went silent. Vanessa watched the press conference from her glass office, eyes sharp, lips unmoving. She didn't smile. She didn't gloat. She just watched as another mask cracked on live television. 3 weeks passed. The newsroom was quieter now, eerily so. Madison Hart had resigned to focus on personal growth, though the media painted a very different story. Vanessa didn't correct them. Let the world speculate. Let Madison rebuild herself elsewhere, if she could. Vanessa had won, but strangely, it didn't feel like victory. She stood alone on the rooftop of the Halcyon Hotel, the same place where her life had shattered weeks ago. Below, the city hummed without mercy. Honking cars, laughing strangers, neon promises glowing on every corner. Alex had called. Twice. Once to apologize. Once to beg. She didn't answer either. Some betrayals didn't deserve closure. That weekend, CityView News aired its most-watched special in years, Faces Behind the Headlines. Vanessa, composed and unsparing, sat down for an unfiltered interview, not just as an anchor, but as a woman betrayed. "I used to think truth was something you delivered through a teleprompter," she said calmly. "But the truth has claws. It doesn't care about makeup, ratings, or contracts. It cuts through lies, and sometimes it cuts through you too." Viewers called her brave. Critics called her cold. Vanessa didn't care either way, because she knew what most people didn't. Surviving a scandal wasn't about being the last one standing. It was about being the only one who walked away without losing herself. Final scene. She entered the studio early the next morning. No lights, no staff yet, just a reflection staring back from the news desk, polished, poised, and no longer pretending. She sat down, hands folded. For once, there was nothing to report. And in the silence, Vanessa Leigh finally smiled. Not for the cameras, not for the world, but for herself.